Hey guys, if you really like this episode, please support our podcast by going to talkmurder.com/join and becoming a Talco Supremo.
Why take another cold and flu season lying down? At the first sign of a cold or flu, take Coricidin. It relieves your runny nose, congestion, and fever fast, and even helps stop them from getting worse. Coricidin D. The sooner, the better.
Don't forget about our Charlotte show coming up on the 15th, and we got one on Asheville. Tickets are still available for those. That's kind of a smaller show and more
smaller, meaning 80 people.
Intimate times with John Perry at that show. So
we are drinking painkillers tonight because the hint you gave us was cold and sinus, right?
It's delicious.
So I actually did think really hard about picking up 3 bottles of Mucinex and just seeing where the night takes us.
What the fuck?
But then I was like, I
don't know about that.
Like maybe some of our fans would frown upon this. So anyway, so we went with painkillers because when you have a cold and sinus infection, you may also take some painkillers.
Mm-hmm. Surprise shots. Surprise shots. We don't know what they are because they're a surprise.
Cold and cough is the...
Oh, yes.
This looks like we're about to take a shot of cold and cough medicine,
Cold
actually.
and cough is the hint. You didn't get that?
Yes.
I thought it was sinus.
Whatever
the fuck.
Same thing.
Are we about to take a shot of cough syrup right now?
Yep, pretty much. That was tasty.
That was Robitussin.
Was it really? What the fuck?
No, it wasn't.
I literally feel like after Nicole, you pick all these shots. You almost killed us the last shot with his gummy worm stuck in the bottom of his shot.
I didn't pick this one, okay?
The week before that, you picked absinthe as a shot.
Yeah,
like,
what the fuck was that about? That
I
was
don't
not
like
cool.
you picking
You know,
shots.
I didn't pick
don't
this
like you
one.
picking
First
shots.
of all, that was all Jen.
Oh, all right.
But thanks for telling me how you really feel. Maybe...
Second of all, this one was delicious.
Was that the blackberry liqueur?
No, it was UV blue combined with raspberry.
Ah.
So it was like extra raspberry, and I could probably drink that straight. I shouldn't, but I definitely could.
All right, tonight's story is for our Taco Supremo ABBIE. That's Abby. Shout out to you.
Hey, baby.
That's what we call Stella. Stay, baby.
Okay, just repeat that address to make sure we have it right.
Patuxent Drive, Raleigh, North Carolina.
We're going to Raleigh.
Oh.
Okay, and what is your first and last name? Phone number you calling from?
Phone number?
Yes, sir. Tell me exactly what happened.
I think I killed my...
What do you mean by that? What happened?
I had a dream, and then
I have a dream.
I turn on the lights, and she's dead on the floor.
How?
I have blood all over me, and there's a bloody knife on the bed, and I think I did it.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
He's high on his...
All right, stay on the phone with me. I'm getting her ambulance, okay?
I can't believe this.
He sounds like a robot.
I can't believe this.
Sounds like very sedated.
He sounds high.
I don't need to know what time it is.
All right, stay on the phone with me, sir. Just gonna ask you a few questions, okay? I'm getting some help to you. Are you with the patient now?
Yeah, I can see her.
Okay. All right. How old is the patient? How's your?
She's 29.
Okay. Is she awake at all right now? What makes you think she's dead? Is she awake?
She's not breathing.
Okay.
That's pretty solid evidence of her being
Oh,
dead.
my God.
Okay. Do you think she is beyond any help?
I don't know. I'm too scared to get too close to her.
Okay. Just stay on the phone with me, sir. I'm here with you. I'm here with you.
I'm so scared.
All right. I've already sent the paramedics to help you. Okay. I'm sending someone to assist you. Just please leave everything as you found it. Is there anything else we can do for you, sir? Where's the knife right now?
Knife's on the bed. I'm not next to it, so I don't have a weapon on me or anything like that.
Okay. When did you wake up?
I don't know. I I took more medicine than I should have.
What medicine did you take?
I'm glad we did not go with.
I took Corsetin, cough and cold, Corsetin, HPT, cough and cold, because I know it can make you feel good. So a lot of times I can't sleep at night.
Okay.
I took some.
All right, so what is it? What are you sure it's not breathing?
She's not moving. Oh my God.
Okay, I'm gonna stay. I'm gonna stay here with you. Okay, let's at least see if she's breathing. Okay.
I'm so
All right.
supposed to buy her.
Can you see her from where you're at?
Yeah, it's so bad. There's so
Okay.
much blood.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna stay here on the phone with you until help gets there. Okay. Just don't touch anything. Just look at is she breathing at all? Is her chest moving? Is anything going on with her?
No.
Okay. Well, we're gonna
The
at least.
blood is dried on me.
It's dried.
The blood's not wet on me. The blood is dry.
Oh,
Okay.
shit. So she's been dead for a
I don't
while.
know what oh, God.
All right. Well, we're gonna at least try to help her. Okay. All right. Just give me this. All right. I've already sent the paramedics to help you. Just stand alone. I'm gonna tell you exactly what to do next. Okay. Are you right by her?
Oh, my God. I mean, I can see her, but oh, my God.
Stay with me, sir. I know this is upsetting, but we're going to try to do as much for her as you can. If you're not sure that she's gone, we're going to try to help her, okay? So just listen carefully. Listen, okay, sir? First, just look at her right now. Tell me what you see. Is the chest moving? Is she breathing? Anything at all?
No, she's not moving at all. Oh, my God. No, he didn't deserve this. Why?
I understand, sir. I understand, but right now we just want to make sure we're doing as much as possible. Is there anyone else at all in the home with you, or is it just you and her?
No, it's her.
Where are you in the house? Where are you in the house, sir?
At the back of the house. There's a light on it.
Okay, well, all right, is the door unlocked?
That's pretty much it. So, what do you guys think?
Well, it makes me think twice about taking that little extra dose of Mucinex DM or whatever when I am sick, because you're like, oh, if I take a little bit more, maybe I'll get better faster. False.
This is the
Blackberry.
medicine that he said that he was taking. This Corsetin HBP, cough and cold. Now, this does have the DM extrate or whatever the fuck it's called.
I've never seen that on the shelf before.
We can buy it at CVS.
Usually with like cough and cold syrup, I'm usually pretty good about taking the suggested dose because one time I just took a gulp and then I got sick after. But one of the medicines that I will kind of not dose correctly is Pepto-Bismol because, you know, when you're feeling that, you got to get that. You got to get that taken care of.
The main thing is the DX. I was about to say DMX. Up in here,
Yeah,
up in here. Y'all gonna make me act all out. Up in here, up in here. Y'all gonna make me act a fool. Up in here, up in here. Y'all gonna make me lose my cool. Up in here, up in here. Dextromethamphetamine. That's what you need to watch out for. If anything says DM is not saying slide up into your DM, it's saying you're gonna get high. We are talking about the cough syrup killer tonight.
Oh.
Well, it's actually just one isolated event.
Oh.
This was February,
Our
September.
disappointment was palpable.
This was
There's only one murder. Oh, God.
Friday, September 1st, 2017, in the wee hours. This is in a townhome in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Did we cover a story that had something similar?
Yeah, guy killed his roommate.
So tonight we're talking about the murder of Lauren Hugemeyer. That happened in Raleigh in 2017. Now, I'm pulling the majority of this episode from the court testimony. It's about a 3.5, 4 hour court testimony. I'm putting it on talkmurder.com. He didn't do a full jury trial, He basically pleaded guilty, and in that time, the state's prosecutor goes through all the facts, goes through all the autopsy stuff and things like that, and then the family, Lauren's family, the victim's family, they all speak, and he's there, the killer's there, the husband, if you will, is there in a courtroom, and at the end, he expresses his sorrow, he says he's a monster, and he basically pleads guilty to the murder to get life in prison instead of the death penalty. That's the case in a nutshell. Okay.
Wow, he got life in prison for that.
Yeah.
Wow, Canada. Like, if this was Canada, they would be like, all right.
It was an accident. He didn't mean to.
Yeah, all right, don't buy cough medicine again.
All right, so when the first responders and police arrived, they found the victim, Lauren. She was on the carpet in the fetal position. She's actually pushed up against the bedpost, and she's laying on her right side. She is in a huge pool of blood.
I kind of wonder if events like this that are induced, I think we talked about this once in another case too, things that are induced by like alcohol, drugs, or whatever, is it kind of like drunk actions or sober thoughts? Is that the saying?
Well, no, I know what you're trying to say, but they can still get charged with murder, but it may not be first-degree murder.
So go to talkmurder.com to see the profiles there. Lauren Hugelmeyer is the victim, and she's right there. They're both 29 years old.
Oh, my gosh. They're a very young and attractive couple.
Now, they found a bloody knife on the table. That's him now.
Oh, whoa.
So I'm going to...
That's more like what I was picturing the first time around.
Keeney and Delva with the Raleigh Police Department were the first officers to arrive on scene. The defendant came out of the home as the officers approached. Officer Keeney entered the home and located Lauren on the carpeted floor of the master bedroom. She was in the fetal position on her right side, leaning at the end of the bed frame, a pool of blood surrounding her body. A large knife covered in blood up to the handle was on the bed.
She was not responsive at all. She was actually dead way before the EMTs got to her. The chief medical examiner came in that morning and the autopsy was done. His name was Dr. Craig Nelson. Jen, how many stab wounds did she have? There was a large knife on the bed, bloody knife. He obviously stabbed her. How many?
At least 50.
Nicole.
Wow. A dozen? 2 dozen? No more than 25?
She was stabbed 123 times.
What?
She was stabbed 123 times. That's 41 stab wounds and 82 incised wounds. There were clumps of hair in her hands. The majority of the stab wounds were directly into her head, neck, and torso.
Oh, my goodness.
In fact, there was 44 in the head and neck alone. That's a lot. 24 in the torso, 17 in her right arm, and 38 stab wounds in her left arm. To get even more a little gruesome, so you guys actually really can feel it for the victim here, the most in-depth stab wound that she suffered from was 4 1/8 inches deep. That's
Oh
pretty
my
much through her
gosh.
entire body. I mean,
Well, depending on how much body fat she had, but yeah.
and that was, she's skinny.
She looked like a slender girl.
Yeah. So,
That
and
would
that was
almost go
right
through
into
her whole
her
body.
back, like in her scapula. There was one 3 1/4 inch deep cut in her neck, entirely through her neck, and it cut open her jugular. Now, she has defensive wounds, so she was awake during this whole event. And what's really sad about this case is the medical examiner actually pinpointed that she survived through the majority of these stab wounds.
Oh, that's awful.
Exactly. So she actually was there, in her body throughout the majority of the stab wounds, which is fucking awful.
I don't know what's worse.
Yeah.
Like, get it dying right away and having someone stab you
Oh, I'd
post-mortem.
rather die right away.
Yeah, at least you don't know.
Well, I know, but either that or like having a chance to live.
So she had so many defensive wounds on her that she was struggling the entire time. And this only lasted, this whole ordeal lasted under a minute. So she actually suffered through that entire time.
See, I still don't understand. I know I always make the comment about like how quickly something happens when we're talking about, firearms, but even like 126 times in under a minute, that's a lot.
The state prosecutor described it as, quote, an exhausting struggle of life. None of her wounds were post-mortem. Even if the carotid artery that was struck, even if the carotid artery that was struck on her was struck first, it would still have taken several minutes for her to bleed out from that. Obviously, they arrested the husband, and you see him up there. His name is Matthew Phelps. Now, they were a married couple. One of the first things he says to the officers was, quote, "This has happened before."
What?
Whoa. No way.
Well, he didn't mean he stabbed someone. He was referring to his first marriage where he drug his wife completely down the hall by her hair.
So he has violent tendencies.
Huh.
Obviously, you guys can tell from the 911 call, there was very little emotion that he showed.
Yeah, but he made it sound like he was high on the cough syrup.
Yeah, he was probably doing that on purpose.
But never mind. I'll save my...
The police also noted that the killer shed no tears for his now deceased wife.
What?
Awfully young to be married twice. No judgment, but I'm just saying.
Now,
I was thinking it too.
Now, you remember in the 911 call when he was talking about he had dry blood on him?
Mm-hmm.
No. Okay, well, we're gonna leave.
Blood is dried on me. No.
Okay, well, we're gonna leave.
Blood is dried on me.
It's dried?
The blood's not wet on me. The blood is dry.
Here's how they knew that there was dry blood on his body, but he also showed signs of going to the bathroom and washing off, taking a shower, trying to erase the evidence. There was also rug burns on his body. From the evidence at the scene, the police said that he made a coordinated effort to clean himself up before the 911 call, which is contradictory to his admission.
But also strange, if you're going to admit something anyway, why clean yourself?
Exactly.
Because he couldn't get clean enough, so then he came up with a
different
cough
plan.
syrup story.
Yeah, so he also said that, he didn't clean himself up. He was telling police that. But they went into the bathroom and used that substance, which is called...
Luminol.
Luminol. I can't...
Forensic Files.
Yeah, Forensic Files lovers here.
I had 2 of the 3 syllables. Do I get anything for that?
You did, because I probably wouldn't have got it if you hadn't sounded the first syllables out.
All right.
But I had a good point to make, and I don't remember it now. That makes me sad.
Porcidian HBP is located... Go ahead.
Located in the cold and flu aisle at your local pharmacy. If you're unsure about how to properly dose, make sure you consult your doctor. If you're nursing or pregnant, please consult your doctor about taking Quercetin HPV. HPV.
Side effects may include
HVP. What was it? HPV? That's like herpes or
No,
something?
that's human papillomavirus.
Yeah, doesn't 4 out of 5 men have it or some shit?
Side effects may include black hairy tongue,
If you're listening to this...
measles, and other...
and possibly killing your wife.
If you're listening to this, you probably have HBV. What is it, HBV?
HPV, and that's not a joke.
No, I know it's not a joke, but 4 out of 5 people have it.
Oh.
It's a lot of people.
I got a vaccine for it.
Oh, well, maybe you don't have it.
Men can get it, too.
Men are the ones that disseminate it through their Tinder apps into all the females.
Apparently, it's Bumble now.
Oh, shit.
Bumble's been there for a while. The popular one now, I guess, is Hinge. Whatever. They're all pointless. They're all just what's the point?
All right. So the toxicology report stated that he did test positive for the DM, but the chemist, because they actually hired a state chemist, he says, quote, did not rise to a toxic level, the kind of level that would cause dizziness and hallucinations. Yeah. So he was over the limit of what you should take, but it probably wasn't enough to stab someone 123 times.
So would it matter how long it had been since he ingested that until the time of the toxicology report?
That's a good question. And we'll go through the timeline here in a minute, but he claims that it was an hour before, which in fact it was a lot longer than that. But I'm going to go through that in a minute.
No, but I'm saying like from the time that he took the DM until the time that they tested him for the DM.
Oh, yeah, you're saying it probably got out of his system?
Yeah, is that possible?
Yeah, it's probably possible. I mean, maybe he was
I would
hallucinating.
assume that they are taking that into account, though.
That's the thing about hallucinations and delusions is it's not really something you can measure because it's all in your mind.
Well, all right, so if
And mental illness in general is something you can't see. Like if you're having a heart attack, you can diagnose that you're having a heart attack. But if you are having hallucinations, unless you're, you can't say what someone is seeing or hearing.
If you watch the court testimony, which I'm putting on talkmurder.com, is a very sad story. I don't believe he was fully hallucinating, in my personal opinion, but I do believe this guy was suffering from extreme depression, as we're going to talk about here in a minute. And I mean, it's just a very sad story, this whole story. But according to an article from BaptistNews.com on October 10, do you subscribe to that? You shook your head.
No.
Oh.
No. No. I don't remember what I was shaking my head to.
I thought you were like, yeah, I've subscribed to that.
No, I was saying, Baptist News, that sounds legit.
Yeah,
like,
I guess it's legit, yeah. It's like a big Baptist thing. You don't like Baptists, do you, Jen? You're Catholic.
I don't
Baptists are going to hell, right?
No, they're all Christians. I mean, as long as you're following your rules, you're good, I guess. I don't dislike Baptists.
All right, so this is some information I pulled from BaptistNews.com, October 10th, 2018. Matthew Phelps, he was a 29-year-old. He once studied missions and evangelism at Kentucky Baptist Convention, which is an affiliate of Clear Creek Baptist Bible College. So, yes, he was once in Bible college. His defense attorney, Joe Cheshire, said that his client suffered from untreated depression, anxiety, and low self-esteem throughout his entire life, which we'll get to in a second. Matthew Phelps was born to a 17-year-old unwed mother who was raised by a, quote, deeply conservative Christian.
I have a serious question. Is there a difference between Baptists and Southern Baptists?
That's a good question. I grew up Southern Baptist. My grandpa was a Southern Baptist preacher. And yeah, there is. So Southern Baptist is more hell and brimstone. That's exactly what we talk about. Okay, when I was in church, all I remember is if you don't do this, you're going to hell. If you do this, you're going to hell. Hell, 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 hell. Fire and brimstone, Jen. Which is why I'm becoming a preacher. All right. Can you imagine me being a preacher?
Absolutely not.
I can.
But I really can't answer your question. I'm not sure the exact differences. I don't know when it's split off or anything.
But it's two separate.
It might not exactly be separate. It might just be the style and delivery.
I think it's just I think it's the same sect or whatever, Baptist, but I think it's just a different dialect because you're in the South. His grandparents were farmers and were unable to give him the attention he needed. Now, the lawyer's not getting up there and trying to say that he didn't do this or say that he was that it wasn't his fault. And even the killer didn't get up there and try to say that it wasn't his fault. It felt like the attorney is just trying to bridge a gap or is trying to bridge the two sides together and make everyone more peaceful about this awful situation. It's a very sad story. In high school, he was introduced to goth music, which that's not good. What's goth music? That's like Marilyn Manson? I don't know what goth music is.
I don't know. I guess it would either be maybe heavier emo or like metal. I don't know.
Eventually, he became
My Chemical Romance.
No, My Chemical Romance is more emo, but they're getting back together. So welcome
I
to the
didn't know
Black
they were
Parade.
apart. I didn't know that they were any good.
They
also.
Yeah, I was never a fan of them.
I wasn't a huge fan, but I have come to appreciate some of their songs.
All
in
right,
later
so
life.
he did have some troubles in high school. He was into goth music and kind of eerie, he got kicked out of school in high school because he was caught abusing cold medicine. So, maybe...
Wow, he has a serious pattern of this.
It may be, yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Who knows if he was really messed up? I mean, he was over the limit. And like you said, Jen, it was hours and, a few hours before they actually tested him. So he may have been completely not lucid during this entire event. I don't know. Eventually, he did plead guilty, so he transferred to a Christian school where he turned around to become one of the best students and a, quote, wonderful preacher. That's from the BaptistNews.com. Now, let's talk about his first marriage. Yeah, he was married once before. It was a very rocky marriage because the media interviewed the first wife. And just like the second wife, the victim here, she said that he was not ambitious. Now, Lauren Hugelmeyer, which I'll talk about in a minute, was, a Scentsy salesman. You should get into Scentsy, Jen. You like all those candles.
I have some wax.
Scentsys is candles, right?
You melt wax, yeah.
Oh, I thought it was candles.
I have a wax warmer in my office.
Oh,
shoot, I forgot to turn that off today.
Oh my God, are you serious?
Yeah.
Okay, so Matthew was not ambitious, and
It's not like I left it over the weekend.
So Matthew, the killer, was not ambitious, and that actually completely butted heads with both of his wives, especially Lauren, because she was very goal-oriented. Okay, that's kind of the buzzword of the day, and very ambitious. One night on his first marriage, the ex-wife recalls him holding her down by her arms, then dragging her out of bed and down through the hall by her hair.
This is not looking good for this guy.
Right after that, she files for a divorce. Now, over time, Matthew thought about dark thoughts, suicide, killing. This is from the neighbors. That's what they were saying. This is before his second marriage. The first wife did go on a mission trip. She was also Christian. And this was when they were married for 3 years now. She actually came back, and this is a quote from Matthew's lawyer. Quote, now there is some dispute as to how that marriage broke up or why, but we do know that first wife, she went on a mission trip alone after 3 years of marriage and came back and told him that she fell in love with another man on her mission trip, and shortly thereafter left Matt and married this man. Matthew Phelps was obsessed with the American Psycho movie with Christian Bale.
Oh.
Great actor. Love that dude. You've never seen that, have you, Jen?
Jen fell asleep.
Shit.
I had a long day, all right? I saw like the first 40 minutes of it. I saw him kill Jared Leto's character.
He was obsessed with American Psycho, and he had 2 Instagram accounts. I guess, what's it called, a Finstagram?
Yeah, Finstagram. That's
ridiculous. I don't even have one.
That's the correct term.
This is his other one, Marty Radical, and there is a picture of. Yeah, I tried to look into the post, but they're private. So, and of course, he's in prison now, so it's not like he's going to add me as a friend. But anyway, that's his other Instagram account. I'm putting that on talkmurder.com. And in July 2017, he sent a neighbor a video of a man whose eyes were being poked out. Yeah, so he was going through all this dark depression shit.
I am terrified of something happening to my eyes.
There was a lot of activity on the Instagram account prior to the death. A lot of depression photos, gothic photos. One photo was captioned, quote, I can't keep it together. So there were definitely signs that he was about to break. Now,
this is why it's so important to check on your friends. Like if you see something, say something.
Yeah.
You could save a life, and it may not be theirs, or maybe someone else's. You never know.
Especially if they're a veteran, because veterans go through some shit. Before the murder, Lauren was actually thinking about leaving the relationship and ending the marriage as well. Matthew was, like I said, not ambitious at all. And in fact, he was draining Lauren's bank account, and he was buying Best Buy gift cards. He spent $1,200 in the month leading up to the murder on iTunes and Xbox games.
What?
Yeah. And he wasn't
Holy
providing
shit.
anything as far as financial stability.
He didn't have a job or
He
anything?
did have
Any source of income?
He didn't have a full-time job. He would do odd jobs here and there, but like I said, he
Like a
wasn't,
handyman?
Well, for instance, he worked as an AT&T salesman at one point and stuff like that. But he wasn't ambitious, and he barely brought any money into the relationship.
It's interesting. It doesn't seem like he's trying at all either.
Quote, first and foremost, now this is from BaptistNews.com. This is about Lauren. We're talking about Lauren Hugelmeyer right now, the victim here. This is from BaptistNews.com. Quote, first and foremost, well, why am I reading all this shit? I never read stuff. You read this.
I don't know. It was kind of
You read this. First of all, oh no,
Well,
sorry,
you read the
no.
first one. You read the
No,
second
I was
one.
talking. No, I wasn't
Well,
supposed
Jen,
to be.
you can read the second
I wasn't
one.
reading. I was gonna say you need to address us by name, or should I just assume
Okay.
that? Should I just assume?
Girl 1, read this. Girl 1, read this. Girl 2, read the next line.
Oh right, the annoying girls in the background. Got you.
First and foremost, she was a Christian, said her mother. She grew up in a loving church family, and it was her second home. And as she grew, she had a passion for kids and helping them grow and to know the Lord.
She spent so much of her time teaching Sunday school, volunteering in youth group, helping run VBS, which stands for Vacation Bible School, if anyone was wondering.
Oh.
The grieving mother said, she knew that she was a child of God. I was so grateful for the grace that God gave her. Her love for the Lord is apparent in her actions and kindness.
If you watch the court proceedings that I'm putting on talkmurder.com, you'll see most of the attendants there wearing these light blue shirts. This is the Lauren's Light t-shirts, and I'm going to put the link to their donation page. There's like an outreach. Now, hours before the murder, she actually took several photos of herself for her Scentsy business, and there's plenty of videos on her Facebook and stuff like that of her promoting her Scentsy. She was very, quote, financially savvy and quite thrifty.
Hi everybody, it's Lauren, obviously. So I am just coming to you today because I've gotten a lot of questions about one of our new products. It's a new scent delivery system.
Now, eventually she wanted to open a Hallmark store. She was the middle of 3 daughters. She was born in 1988, so she's very young. She's
close to
she's
our
older
age.
than y'all, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
I was born in 86, so she's...
Halfway in between.
Yeah. She was very close friends with her 2 sisters, and if you watch the court testimony, you can see that. She was known as Aunt Nene. She was goal-oriented and driven. She bought a townhouse. Now, this was her townhouse where the husband was living and her dog, Cooper.
I like that name for dogs.
She also loved Harry Potter. She met Matthew actually in Kentucky. They actually met in Kentucky, and then she moves back to North Carolina, and then he basically finds her on Instagram, and they start up a relationship via Instagram. Then they decide to get married. He moves down to North Carolina.
Whoa.
Yeah. Now, there was
That sounds like it escalated quickly.
There was a lot of arguing in the relationship, just like the first marriage. Now, before the murder, she actually texted her sister, this is the day before, quote, "I'm done. I want him out of my life. He's holding me back." So you can see
This was the day before they got married?
No, the
murdered.
day before the murder, yeah.
Sorry.
So you can see, I mean...
Married, murdered, same thing, right?
So if you can tell by watching him, and even the 911 call, he's just emotionless. There's no ambition there. And you can't put that person with someone who's super hyper ambitious because it won't work out. It never work out. You know, that's the one thing I believe at least. Like I said, their relationship was tumultuous. He worked a lot of odd jobs, and Lauren basically at one point had to pick up 3 jobs just to support him and the family. Lauren actually planned a trip to Disney World with her sister. Her sister Beth put it all on her credit card. Lauren set aside cash every month to pay her back, and Matthew, her husband, was actually dipping into that without her knowing.
Jeez.
Thursday, August 31, which was right before the murder, they planned to have dinner and discuss all their problems. Okay, I don't know if she was going to break it off or whatever, but he wasn't even there. He actually went out with his friend. He wouldn't even answer the phone calls or anything else. She was done. That's when she texted her sister, "I'm done." And she talks to her sister Beth at 10 p.m. and for 27 minutes, and that was the last phone call she's ever made. She went to bed, and that 911 call happened at 1:12. So she goes to bed at 10 p.m., she goes to bed at 10:30. So Matthew gets home between 10:30 and 1:12. He takes all the medicine and then murders her. Okay, so that's the time frame there. Life in prison. He is going to prison without the possibility to parole. He's there now in Raleigh Correctional. And if you watch the video, I do find him very sincere for the murder. And
Do you think it was the cough syrup?
I don't know. I just think he was just broken, just depressed out of his mind. And that's no excuse. But
This is kind of where I was trying to go earlier, where sober thoughts are drunk actions or whatever. And
A drunk mind speaks sober thoughts.
Yeah. So, like, maybe he had thoughts without any influence of any drugs
Yeah.
or whatever, and that taking them maybe pushed.
I mean,
him
it's
to
just
do it.
like I said, this whole story is just really sad because
Although
it's
what is really suspicious though is how things were with his former
exactly.
wife. It
Right.
makes it seem like
Well,
it's much more of a
maybe his
pattern.
mental illness caused him to have homicidal thoughts.
Like
Maybe it wasn't just like I'm gonna kill this wife. Maybe
Exactly.
he just sometimes you can be homicidal. That and it's a shame that he wasn't getting the help he needed.
homicidal, that's a great word. Because when I look at this guy, I would say that he was going through, I don't know about all this mental health stuff, but he was going through a lot of stuff because it's not like he was trying to get away with this. I mean, how would he, right? I mean, would people really believe that the cough medicine thing, and what was his plan after that? I felt that he was just at the end of his rope and he just snapped. It's a really sad situation. I feel that he was extremely depressed, and I feel the family feels that way too. And if you watch the court testimony, you can see that he is emotional. He may be completely blank and everything, but like a lot of episodes we do, I'm like, this guy's a monster, and you can tell, like Chris Watts, he is a fucking monster, right?
Right.
He shows no remorse whatsoever, does not give a shit. Like this guy, I feel like, not to give him an excuse, but I feel like this is just a really sad, shitty story. Anyway, this is from BaptistNews.com. Quote, Matt, I cannot be the instrument that, well, you read this. Why am I reading so much shit tonight?
Matt, I cannot be the instrument that God uses to show you his grace and bring you to him, but know this, said Beth Agner, Lauren's older sister. Prison is a very scary place, but being separated from God is worse, and his judgment is harsher than anything this court can give. I believe Jesus died for all, and I believe his grace is sufficient for all, and my prayer is that God's will be done. At the end of the hearing, Phelps apologized for what he called a senseless, mindless act.
I feel like a monster, one of the wretched, a part of the darkness we don't speak of. That darkness consumed me until I was blind to the path I had taken, and deaf to my own cries for help.
That darkness caused me to do the unimaginable, to take a life that was not mine to take. No length of time will ease my inner sorrow or relieve me of the memory of such a godless act as my hands, which I thought incapable of doing, have committed, and I will have to live with the rest of my life with these hands as a constant reminder, Phelps said.
I hope my life will be an example of the consequences for those who think that drinking, drugs, and carelessness will only affect themselves and no one else.
Be not deceived, God is not mocked, for whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap.
Yeah.
It's interesting, sorry to cut in, but that was prepared like a sermon. So that almost makes me think like, how he said that they said he was a good preacher?
Mm-hmm.
Just the verbiage that he used is just
he went to Bible college.
Well, yeah, I know that, but that's what I'm saying. It wasn't so much as, I loved my wife.
It was
and
practiced.
Yeah, it was very.
Yeah, but it's not like I don't feel like he was going to try to get away with this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but at the same time, like he didn't even
He's still not
mention
taking ownership.
That is true. And you have to take ownership. That's one of the things they look and he's never going to get parole, but when you try to parole, they make sure that you feel remorseful. That's like the one thing that the parole board does.
I mean, he used words that made it sound like he was remorseful, but at the same time, when you're reading through it, it literally looks like a sermon.
Yeah, it's such a hard story. If you watch him in the court testimony, like you can see that he seems very remorseful. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know. He may not be. Shit. But either way, he's in prison for the rest of his life. So, and I mean, the 123 stab wounds, that's overkill.
Yeah, legit.
That's literally fucking awful. I mean, we've never, because, to stab someone, it's a workout. You know what I'm saying? Like, It's not as easy as you think, really. Jen, why are you looking at me like that?
I'm not looking at you like anything.
All right. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to hit that subscribe button on whatever podcasting app you use. If you like this episode, you can follow us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. If you're absolutely obsessed with this podcast and want to become our stalker, go to talkmurder.com/join, become a Talker Supremo, get a badass t-shirt, sticker, swag, a lot of love, shout it out all over the place. Tell me what story you want me to do. I'll research it, dedicated to you on the Talk Murder to Me podcast. My name is John, here with Jen and Nicole. And until next time.
If you're tired of the devil stealing, if you're tired of the devil killing, if you're tired of the devil destroying your life, you must order the personal package, and you got to order it right now.